Dr. LaFayette, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing just fine. It's a beautiful day and I'm doing just great.
Well, man, this is an interview that is long overdue, but you are a hard man to catch.
Well, I won't disagree.
I bet your wife won't disagree either.
No.
Now, tell me, what are you doing, man? Tell the people what you're doing. We're going to Selma in a minute because I really want you to bring up some of those old-time realities for us. But right now, what are you doing?
Well, I must confess I'm doing the same thing. And that is trying to see how we can address the problems of today like we did yesterday. And I am very curious about continuing to learn why we're in the situation we're in. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not considered a veteran of the movement, because I haven't retired. I'm still working just as hard every day, and I've got a team of people working. So there are 4 basic things that I'm doing, and I'll give it to you briefly. The first thing we're doing is working on the local levels here in the U.S., different cities, in Broward County, Florida, and Atlanta, Georgia, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, California, around Los Angeles area, as well as Rhode Island. And that's what those are the areas that we're working with now. And the project has to do with dealing with the dropout rate and the incarceration of youth, which is related. Those who drop out usually drop in your house when you're not at home.
Yeah, you got that right.
So what we've got to do is figure out why they drop out. Because if we don't get to the root of the problem, we won't be able to really solve it. So I've been doing research and study on the root of the problem, but my research is action research. In other words, we have an action project that's going that reveals information and knowledge that we can use to deal with the problem. So one of the things we discovered about the high dropout rate among minorities in the 9th grade is when you have your highest dropout rate.
Okay.
Now, you know, a 9th grade education is not going to take young people very far today.
Absolutely. Except
2 being incarcerated and unemployment and that sort of thing. And well, the average person incarcerated is, looking at the whole number, has about a 6th grade education, a reading level. So we had to say, how do we get at this problem? Well, the first thing, there are 2 basic reasons that they drop out. The first reason is a lack of parental support or discipline. The second reason, and the most predominant reason, is that those that we have looked at who've dropped out in the 9th grade, particularly, are those who are not affiliated socially with any peer group. They don't belong to the band, they're not in athletics, any kind of sports and that kind of thing, no club. They're sort of on the margin. They're marginalized and they feel ostracized. And many of the reasons they feel that way is the way they're treated by the environment of school. Sometimes the teachers don't do a good job in helping to get young people socialized. They're good at penalizing, but they don't do too well at socializing, some of them, helping young people become part of a group, but also helping the group, like the students in the class, learn to accept someone who's different. And you have students who have different levels of development, social development, and some act sort of awkward, you know, and look kind of maybe different, and they become the object of ridicule and laughter, and they pick on them. And sometimes young people become the victim of bullying. And what I found out is some of the bullies are the ones who feel left out. And they're concerned about the way people look at them. And this is something that, you know, we need to understand, that there is a violent look. There's a look that causes people to feel as they say it.
Right. I agree with that.
Disrespected, discounted, okay, and dissed out. Mm-hmm. There's a look. So the violence that we are looking at is many times non-physical. It's sometimes words that people say, and I think probably what students or young people say to each other is much more hurting, because some people retaliate physically even though they haven't been, you know, the victim of a physical attack. I think it's very much related to those who find themselves in positions of Columbine. In every instance where we've seen the national consequences of this kind of thing, there have been young people who have not felt part of the community. So therefore they have anti-community feelings.